everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. I'm Stephen Cabral, board-certified naturopathic doctor, and we are about to get started with our first set of house calls for the weekend. We answer your wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions right here each and every weekend. We answer about 5 to 6 community members' questions each day, and you know what? It's each and every week that we do get all sorts of new questions coming in. The nice thing is, after having done let's say about 553 shows, I believe, somewhere around there, before we get to today's, which is episode 554, we've answered a lot of questions. We really have, whether it's a podcast topic or an individual community member's question. We're approaching, I think, 700 to 800 questions answered. So really excited to be able to answer your questions each and every weekend. Please do feel free to always submit them, not online, not in any place, because I really do want to be able to answer your questions. So the place that I will always see them is if you ask them at stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. Anywhere else, sometimes it just gets lost in the sea of comments on social media, all of those things, but I'm happy to answer your questions right here. And again, customer service questions are not right here. That's where you ask support at Dr. Cabral Detox or support at stephencabral.com. So without further ado, let's get right into our first question. It's coming in from Vicky. She's asking, Dr. Cabral, I would like to start using your Daily Nutritional Support. I had my gallbladder removed about 10 years ago, so I'm wondering if this support is safe for me to use. Also take 50 milligrams Losartan for high blood pressure. Recently diagnosed with a hernia. With the above, would the product be okay for me to start using? Always looking forward every morning to listening to your podcast. Thank you so much for your help and time, Vicky. Vicky, thank you for tuning in each and every morning. I absolutely do appreciate that. Happy to answer your question right now. So, the Daily Nutritional Support powder is exactly this. Very, very simple, very, very straightforward. It is a hypoallergenic pea and rice-based protein. So it's a protein powder, 15 grams of protein, organic quality, of course. And then it's a full functional medicine methylated vitamin. So it's the very best vitamin in the world. It is methylated, which means it is in the bioavailable form that your body can use, regardless of whether you have genetic mutations on the MTHFR, any of those things. It will help you with that. It's also a full spectrum mineral. So you're going to get your selenium, your iodine, everything you need for your thyroid. You're going to get your B complex, not at a small little 5 milligram dosage, but you're actually going to get up to and around 50 milligrams per B vitamin. So it's a full potency active B vitamin. And then you're going to get a full spectrum of antioxidants that's going to help with anti-aging. But again, we reformulated this. We took out the herbs. We took out the heavy detoxifiers. And it is now able to be used by pregnant women, nursing, and children as well as regular adults. I see, again, I can't give you medical advice. That's not what the Cabral HouseCall is all about. But I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to do this with high blood pressure, with no gallbladder, or with a hernia. It's pea and rice-based protein, and it's a multivitamin, mineral. It's just the best quality. That's basically it. I could start from scratch. I created the best vitamin possible, and the pharmaceutical drug that you're on right now is called an angiotensin II receptor antagonist, which basically that just means it's being used for your high blood pressure to work on the vasoconstriction of the arteries. Again, I see no issue with that whatsoever. This is also not high fat. That's something you would have to watch out if you didn't have a gallbladder. Again, a lot of people don't tell you that, but a high fat diet, like a high keto-based diet or keto-based diet with all those fats, not great if you've had your gallbladder removed. This is the best way to go. You mix this with some nice frozen berries in the morning or any type of berries or fresh fruit that you would like. You can throw in some spinach in there. Again, we have a free smoothie guide available at stephencabral.com. Feel free to click on any of the podcast pages. So just go to stephencabral.com/podcast. Click on any one of those podcast pages. You'll see it pop up on the bottom of that page. So hopefully that helps, Vicky, and you should be all set to go. And of course, it'll be linked up in today's show notes. Anything you hear mentioned today, just go to stephencabral.com/554. You literally will find all of the links you need for lab tests and supplements and whatever it might be. We'll link it up today. All right, Maggie is up next. Maggie's writing in, my son has been battling a very rare form of cancer since he was 5. He's been sick a lot to do all of the chemo wiping out his immune system. We almost lost him around December 2016. He is now almost 7 and has recently been sick with a virus in his blood that the doctors cannot control. I want to build up his immune system and help him fight this cancer in any way possible, any natural way possible. Could you please recommend how I can go about this? Thank you so much for your advice and help. You are a blessing to all of us, Maggie. Thank you very much for writing in, Maggie. I mean, really, this is such a really emotional issue for me to even hear. I hate to hear children being sick. You know, I have a 3-year-old. I have a 5-year-old. I understand. I can understand how much, that this can weigh on you. And what I'd like to say is we always keep our hopes positive. We keep your son's hopes positive that he can recover. And what I'm going to do is I want to give you a couple places to start. But please do understand that this is about a 5-minute answer that I can give you. This is not a comprehensive consultation. And I do recommend working with a functional medicine doctor, naturopathic doctor, any type of natural healer that can give you a little bit of the natural side, but really do a comprehensive job and really do a service to your son. What I'm going to do, though, is give you a place to start. Of course, that's what I want to do. So what we need to do, cancer or not, is figure out here's the issue. No one asks why. And this isn't your fault, Maggie. This is the doctor's fault. The doctor should be doing this, not you. You're the patient. Your son's the patient. It's not your job. But what the doctor is supposed to say is, why does this child have cancer? Why does this person have the autoimmune? Why is this person always sick? You have to ask why. If we don't ask why, we can't get an answer, which means we can't treat the underlying condition. I would love for your son to run an organic acids test. I would love him to run a stool test, a hair tissue mineral analysis test, a toxicity test. Does he have parasites? Does he have candida? Does he have Clostridium difficile? Does he have H. pylori? Does he have high levels of aluminum, mercury, bromines, like all of these things that can be weighing him down? Does he have those things? Okay. Now, whether he does or doesn't, now it's nice to be able to test for them, but we have to start doing detoxification and fast. Okay, he's 7, so we can't get too heavy on it, but we do need to make sure that we are switching over to a predominantly raw or at least vegetable-based vegan diet. Now, this doesn't have to be a permanent diet. People can argue back and forth, but it's hard to disagree that a high vegetable, high alkaline diet does not kill cancer or help to eradicate cancer. We know that it works in a lab. We've seen that. It's been shown. It was also shown in Germany as well, where a lot of the studies were done, that cancer can't live in an alkaline-based environment. I know easier said than done because our blood maintains a pH of about 7.356. So I understand that. Believe me, I've done my homework. So what I want to say is this, though. By giving your body a lot of minerals, trace minerals in water, doing green juices. I personally would do a lot of carrot juice as well. A lot of people help to cure their cancer with high dosages, 5 pounds of carrot juice per day. Your son's 7, he's not an adult. How much should he use? Well, it's really weight-based, but probably 1/3 of that. I would do a lot of green juices, a lot of the carrot juice, or organic, of course. I would look up the Gerson protocol, meaning the Gerson method. Again, and this is what I'm talking about. It is part of that. I would be doing liver support. I would be doing high dosages of vitamin C. If you could do intravenous vitamin C, I would do that. I would do higher levels of zinc. These things are going to boost his immune system and help to kill the viruses. I would possibly do some colloidal silver to help kill viruses. There's so much I would love to be able to recommend and go over with you. Things like the Daily Fruit and Vegetable Blend, which is our greens powder, completely organic in greens that you can just add to water, because I know how expensive this can be. But here's the thing. There's so much that you can do, but you have to start with the nutrition first. No dairy, no heavy fats. Get rid of the meats for right now. If you're worried about the protein, you would do some wild fish with high in omega-3s for right now. You would do legumes and chickpeas and smash them up and make a hummus, more of a Mediterranean-based diet. Again, there's so much I would love to be able to share, but you can't do that on a single, even one podcast. I wouldn't be able to do it. Now, I will do a whole cancer-based podcast in the future, but this is it. This is where you start, and then remember, that's your basis point. Now, you could work with a practitioner to do all of these things to help support your son from both a naturopathic perspective as well as a conventional medicine perspective. You can do both. Just keep in mind the chemo is wiping out the immune system and strength of his body, okay? So you can choose if you want to go that route, but please at least subsidize that chemo-based route also with the natural-based therapies to help build his body up, to keep it strong so that if the chemo's killing the cancer cells and also killing his healthy cells, while we're using nutrition and good quality nutritional supplements to keep his body strong. All right. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to hear you right back in with your son's amazing success story, not because of this podcast, but because of what you did, your family did, and he did to help pull himself through this time. And again, remember, Dr. Gerson's daughter, which you'll read about, she had colon cancer when I believe she was 6 or 7 or 8 years old, right around your son's age. She right now is in her 80s, still alive, still well, very healthy. I expect nothing less than that for your son as well. Take care. Okay, Cindy is up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. I have a question. Thanks again for all of your podcasts and all your information you provide to us. May God bless you, your team, and your family. My question is, why is my uterus low? How can I fix this issue? Thanks again. Okay, let's go over this. So, again, some questions are great for a whole podcast and some are great for the house call. This is a great house call question. I've never answered it before. This is called a prolapsed organ, a prolapsed uterus, or a prolapsed bladder, or even a prolapsed descending colon in the bowel. That can happen as well. So why do these organs become prolapsed? We'll just go with prolapsed uterus because that's what you said. Now, here's the thing. For everyone don't know what, where the uterus is, the bladder, the bowel, well, on a female's body, what we're looking at, obviously we're just talking about this Cindy who's writing in right now. So right above the vaginal canal on a woman, we have this pelvic floor. Think of it as a set of muscles that runs parallel to the bottom of the hips. Now, perpendicular to that would be where the uterus canal comes down, the bladder comes down, and the bowels come down. They come through this pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor, I like to think of it as like a hammock, literally a hammock, that holds the uterus, bladder, bowels all in place. But what happens is sometimes over time with childbirth, things can get stretched, okay? The uterus can get stretched, of course, and it starts to lose elasticity or the elastic strength. When that happens, it can sag down and push down on those pelvic floor muscles and become what we call prolapse. Now, what else can happen, though, is the pelvic floor muscles can actually become overstretched and weak. So really great ways, though, of strengthening this is this. We need to decrease inflammation. Bottom line, decrease inflammation, go to an anti-inflammatory diet, use the morning smoothie that I talk about or the Dr. Brawl Daily Protocol. We'll link it up today in the show notes. Very, very simple. Smoothie in the morning, get your greens in, probiotics, especially the lactobacilli-based probiotics, because that helps with vaginal flora balance as well as small intestinal balance, and that's called the Daily Probiotic Support. Can't recommend that enough. So we have the anti-inflammatory. Of course, you can use turmeric. You can use those types of things. They're great, but you don't want to use that for the rest of your life. So again, you could use it temporarily, not forever. Now, besides the anti-inflammatory part, what I want you to do is, now for temporary relief, yes, you can literally do inversion exercises where you're hanging upside down or you're doing a bridge to keep your hips high. My recommendation is, what do we do though for long-term relief? And we do these things called pelvic floor exercises. And the pelvic floor exercises begin to strengthen the hammock, begin to tighten it up, begin to tighten those pelvic floor muscles up so it holds your uterus in place, your bladder, and your bowels. So my recommendation is to look up pelvic floor exercises. Go to YouTube, type in pelvic floor exercises. You will get all of that information for free. Of course, you can buy books on it, but also one of my recommendations is, why not go to see a pelvic floor specialist in your area? I mean, there's literally physical therapists as well as personal trainers that do this type of exercise. Go see them. Make sure you're doing it right. See them for anywhere between like 2 and 6 sessions or more and learn the exercises. They're not hard. They're things like planking, getting your hips from an anterior to pelvic, posterior base tilt to get them neutral, looking into bridging and all sorts of different exercises that are very straightforward. They're all body weight based that are going to get you stronger. So, Cindy, that is your answer, and that will really help to bring you the relief that you need. And again, get the morning smoothie in there, get the vitamin C, get the vitamin E, get your antioxidants, get your minerals in there. You need the things that are going to help regenerate the body as well. All right, Michelle's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. So many people I know are looking for recommendations for comfortable mattresses that aren't toxic. Can you recommend a couple of brands? Curious what you use. I have one cotton for my child and my husband, and we are due a new one. Ours is not a clean mattress and not particularly comfortable. Any input would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so yes, we did this. We went through this whole research about 4 years ago, my wife and I. My wife does incredible research online and through books, really does a great job with children, infants, family, and household products. And of course, I do that myself, but I really lean on her for a lot of that research. And then, we basically chat about it. She says, what do you think about this, this, and this? This is what I've been reading. I give her my take. She goes back and she really digs in and finds the best products possible. She's the one who found the bamboo sheets and all of those nice things. So here's what I want you to look for is when you're looking for a mattress, there's organic mattresses are going to be a little bit more expensive, no doubt about that, but it's absolutely worth it. You're spending about 7 to 9 hours a night on that mattress. There's nowhere else you're spending that amount of time on. It's so important. People don't understand. I'm going to do a whole podcast on this. I'll do a Friday review on it. But people don't understand that the mattresses you buy from a store have flame retardants, formaldehydes, all sorts of different chemicals that off-gas while you're sleeping. Okay, they're invisible, of course, and some of them have no scent, but you are getting that, and that is hurting your liver, hurting your cells. These things can lead to cancer. Okay, the other thing is a lot of mattresses contain springs. These springs can also increase EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. I'm going to be talking about all of this in my new book as well. Again, these are topics people need to know about. They just never told about it. It makes a huge difference. Plus, again, a lot of them have massive amounts of dust mites that are fed on human dander, all of those things, and they begin to soak up all of these dust mites and dust mite feces, all of these things that you don't want to think about. And the mattress, you can actually weigh a new mattress versus one that's 5 years old, 10 years old, and the mattress weighs so much more from what it's absorbed, and you don't like to think about it. Again, it's really gross, but this is why this is so important. So my recommendation right now, before I give you all the different brands of that, is look for either a wool, organic cotton, or a latex-based mattress, okay? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for chemical-free, non-toxic, ideally no springs. If you're doing springs, you're looking for steel coil. You want it certified organic, really important. A lot of people leaning towards not wool. One, just again, not being vegan-based, but also wool needs to be cleaned. So that's, once a year at least, you're going to be cleaning that wool mattress. So a lot of people aren't necessarily leaning towards that. Some people are. And again, I don't have an issue with it. It's your choice. And if you're doing a memory foam, so important that you're not doing synthetic memory foam. Synthetic memory foam off gases as well. I know we love that memory foam feel, really comfortable to sink into, but really harsh chemicals. Okay, so you're looking for the organic, untreated cotton, untreated wool, not a lot of oils in there, only water-based glues or no glues at all. Absolutely no flame retardants of any kind. Absolutely not. Those things literally do and have been shown to be carcinogens that lead to cancer. Okay, so what I will do is I'm going to link up ones in the future. I'm not going to link them up today, but here are a few brands to check out. Essentia is one of them. IntelliBed is another. Zen Haven is one. Naturepedic is one. And Nest is one. So one of my other recommendations is this. Look for one that has at least a 90-day return policy. Money back guarantee. Almost all of them do. And the reason is they're not really sold in stores too much. You have to buy them from online. So we bought ours from online, and it came rolled up because there's no springs. We just rolled it out. We let it basically pop back up to its normal height. So again, I don't want to give you my recommendation. I really like ours, but I don't love it. My wife absolutely loves it. So now you can see, right? It's all subjective. I weigh about 50 pounds or so more than my wife. So she doesn't sink into the bed as much as I do. I would prefer it a little firmer because it's a little soft for my liking right now. I sink a little bit too much into that bed where it creates more of like that little like kind of sunken in feeling. A lot of people love that. They actually ask for it. They call it hugging you as you sleep. I don't need that. I don't really want that. I prefer a little bit firmer. So for me, ours is a little too plush, comfort, soft. I prefer a little firmer, but that's why, in the future, like let's say we buy another one, I'll want to just make sure there's a money back guarantee for that 90 days so that if we can't both totally agree on it, that we can just trade it in and just go for another one. So that's my recommendation for today. Hopefully that helps. And let's move on now to Sartorius. Greetings, I have read about your work with great interest. I specifically read that some consumer groups have sent to different labs, I don't know which ones, some blood samples, and they receive different and not overlapping results. Or that food sensitivity testing has not been studied systematically, so we have no reliable evidence that is meaningful. For instance, how do you make sure the tiers are accurate? I'm not exactly sure what that means. Do you run them twice? We were thinking of purchasing some of the tests in my family, but I would like to read more about that in detail if it is possible. Many thanks. So Sartorius, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I agree with you and don't agree with you all at once, meaning that there are a lot of unscrupulous labs. There's no doubt about that. But the testing has been validated without a doubt. Just, keep in mind that your health insurance actually pays for food sensitivity testing, environmental sensitivity testing, if you can get it done through your PCP. Right down the street at Children's Hospital in Boston, arguably the greatest children's hospital in the world, is right here in Boston. And they do food sensitivity testing all the time. They specialize in it. So, scientifically, it's definitely proven. I do agree with you. Some labs are better than others. Just keep in mind the lab that we use for the blood spot test, no one else really in the world does it that well as this lab for sending it out for a card through the mail. Do keep in mind, I totally agree with you. And remember, so I'm the biggest skeptic in the world. Don't think that I'll recommend anything that natural medicine says. That's not the case at all. And the reason is that I need this to work for myself. Remember, I'm a patient of myself. Legitimately, I need to make sure this stuff works, and I treat my family and again, everyone I care for my practice. So believe it or not, what I do is this. I spend my own money to do a double-blind test with these labs. They don't know that it's me doing it. Whenever I choose a new lab because someone says, this lab's the best, here's the studies, here's the research, and I'm very skeptical, like I said, I actually send in 2 labs from myself, so I do it myself, or my wife, but it's a family member because I'm paying for it anyway, so I might as well pay for my family, and I then just label it under a different person's name, but it's done on the same day, same sample, same exact time, and I make sure I get the same exact result. I did this for hair tissue mineral analysis testing, for food testing, because a lot of people are skeptical about that. Totally understand your skepticism. Remember, I'm the guy who traveled all the way around the world to India, Sri Lanka, China, Europe, and the US to see if these actual healing modalities actually worked. I was an intern in these hospitals and clinics. I was a resident there. I got to actually work with the people. So believe me, you're talking to a skeptic, and so I just want to let you know that that's the truth. And also be wary of what you read online, because a lot of these places like the Consumer Reports Group, they are funded by a lot of companies like the American Medical Association and others. There's a reason why sometimes they try to debunk them. Don't fall for that. Take your health back into your own hands. You deserve it. Your family deserves it. I can't recommend the labs that we offer enough. And again, we don't own any of these lab companies. We have no stake in any of these lab companies. We choose the best of the best. That's it. That's why you won't see us go with only one lab ever or only one supplement line ever. We use the best of the best. That's it. Okay, we're going to keep it at that for today's show. Really great questions, and I have a bunch more coming in tomorrow, so I do hope you stay tuned for that show. We're going to be talking about, I have them right here in front of us, we're going to talk about bursitis, inflammation, weak digestive systems, what labs to run for that, absorption issues, white blood cell issues. We're talking about diabetes tomorrow and blood sugar, all sorts of absolutely fantastic questions, female hormones. Can't wait to bring that to you. So tune back in tomorrow. Today's episode was at stephencabral.com/554. That's where you get all the show notes, all the links to all the products, labs, research, anything that we spoke about. Really great talking with you today. Tune back in tomorrow. I'll speak with you soon. Thank you for just tuning into the Cabral Concept. It's hard to believe, but it's already the month of August. This means that the summer will soon be over and we'll be getting back into our fall routine, which for the most of us means cleaning up our nutrition and getting back into a healthy regimen. This is why during the month of August 2017, I want to offer you a free bottle of my Daily Probiotic Support with any 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox package. This means you'll get all of the wellness benefits associated by doing the Dr. Cabral Detox, and if you're looking to lose weight, you can lose up to 15 pounds in just 21 days. Plus, I'm going to send you out the 60-capsule bottle of my dairy-free, low-histamine, 50 billion CFU Daily Probiotic Support. This is the exact same one I use every day as part of my Dr. Cabral Daily Protocol. I feel so strongly that the 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox is the first place most people should start that I'm offering $30 off the retail price and another $39.95 in savings with the Daily Probiotic Support bonus offer. This is an almost $70 in savings for the highest quality, non-GMO, third-party tested functional medicine nutritional supplements on the market. To take advantage of this limited time offer, simply go to stephencabral.com/store for details.